Hey everybody, welcome to Interview Blog. In this video, we'll be covering the bubble sort algorithm. So the question gives us an array of integers and it wants us to write a function to sort the given input array using bubble sort algorithm. So the bubble sort algorithm is a simple algorithm and it is very easy to implement. Although it is not a very efficient algorithm, it is a famous question in coding interviews. So in bubble sort algorithm, what we do is we'll be traversing our given input array n times, and each time when we traverse the array, if we find the current element to be greater than the next element, we will be performing swaps between these adjacent elements to sort the given input array. Let us now see how the bubble sort algorithm works. So I'll be traversing our given input array n times. That is, in this case, we'll be traversing our given input array 6 times. So the first time when I traverse this given input array, I'll be checking the elements 8 and 2. So we can find that 8 is greater than 2. Hence, we'll swap this 8 and 2. And now my input array will be 2, 8, 4, 9, 5, 1. Next, I'll compare 8 and 4. So while comparing 8 and 4, I can find that 8 is greater than 4. So we will swap 4 and 8. That is, our input array will now be 2, 4, 8, 9, 5, 1. Now I'll be comparing 8 and 9. Since 8 is less than 9, we do not need to perform any swaps. So our input array will be 2, 4, 8, 9, 5, 1. Now I'll be comparing 9 and this 5. So while comparing 9 and 5, I can find that 9 is greater than 5. Hence, we should perform a swap here. And now my input array would be 2, 4, 8, 5, 9, 1. Now I'll be comparing 9 with this 1. And we can find that 9 is greater than 1. So our input array would be 2, 4, 8, 5, 1, 9. So after the first traversal, our input array would be 2, 4, 8, 5, 1, 9. So after the first traversal, we can see that the largest element that is present in the given input array will be present in the last index of the array. So during our second traversal, we can simply apply this bubble sort algorithm to this part of the given input array and ignore this part of the array, since this part of the array is already sorted. So let me quickly erase this and go to the second iteration. So in my second iteration, first I'll be comparing the elements 2 and 4. So we can find that 2 is less than 4. Hence, there will be no swapping and we will have the same input array, that is 2, 4, 8, 5, 1 and 9. Now we'll compare 4 and this 8. We can see that 4 is less than 8 and hence there will be no swapping. So our input array would be same, that is 2, 4, 8, 5, 1 and 9. Now we'll compare this 8 with this 5. We can see that 8 is greater than 5. Hence, there will be a swapping and our input array would be 2, 4, 5, 8, 1 and 9. So now we'll be comparing 8 with this 1 and we can see that 8 is greater than 1. Hence, we'll perform a swap and our input array would now be 2, 4, 5, 1, 8 and 9. So this will be the last iteration in our second traversal, because we have already discussed that after the first iteration, this 9 has been placed in its correct position in the given array. So we won't be comparing this 8 and 9. After the second iteration, we can see that both the last elements 8 and 9 has already been sorted and hence only the elements 2, 4, 5 and 1 needs to be sorted now. So we can ignore this part of our input array and we can perform our bubble sort algorithm for this part of the given input array. So let me quickly erase this. So in our third iteration, what we'll do is we'll be comparing this 2 and 4. Since 2 is less than 4, there will be no swapping. Hence, our input array would remain the same. That is 2, 4, 5, 1, 8 and 9. Next, we will compare 4 and 5. While comparing 4 and 5, we can see that 4 is less than 5 and hence there will be no swapping. So our input array will remain the same, that is 2, 4, 5, 1, 8 and 9. So now we will be comparing 5 and 1. We can find that 5 is greater than 1. Hence we will swap this 5 and 1 and our input array would now become 2, 4, 1, 5, 8 and 9. So in the third traversal, this will be my last iteration since 8 and 9 are already sorted. And now we can find that this 5 is also in its correct position in the given input array. Now we need to apply bubble sort algorithm only to this part of the given input array. So let me quickly erase this. So now during the fourth traversal, I will be checking the elements 2 and 4. While checking 2 and 4, we can find that 2 is less than 4 and hence there will be no swapping. So our input array would be 2, 4, 1, 5, 8, 9. So next I'll be checking 4 and 1. In this case, we can find that 4 is greater than 1 and hence we need to swap these elements and our input array will now be 2, 1, 4, 5, 8, 9. So this will be my last iteration since 5, 8 and 9 are already sorted and 4 has also been placed in the correct position in the given input array. So now we have to apply the bubble sort algorithm to this part of the given input array. So let me quickly erase this. So during our fifth pass, we will be comparing this 2 and 1. Since this 2 is greater than 1, I will be swapping this 2 and 1 and our input array will now become 1, 2, 4, 5, 8 and 9. So now this will be the last iteration and we can find that this 2 has also been placed at the correct position in the given input array. So in the sixth traversal, we can find that the given input array is now sorted and hence our function should return this sorted array as our output. So hope you understood the solution. Let us now analyze the time and space complexity of our solution. So the time complexity of our algorithm in best cases big O of n and in average cases big O of n square and in worst case scenario is big O of n square. And the space complexity of our solution always tends to be constant since we do not use any extra space in our given algorithm. So in bubble sort algorithm, during the average and worst case, we will always be traversing the given input array n times, and each time we will be traversing all the elements of the given input array. So our average and worst case complexity tends to be big O of n square. So the best case time complexity of our bubble sort algorithm tends to be big O of n. This is because in the best case scenario, we will always be having a sorted array as our input, and after one traversal, we can easily find that the given array is already sorted. Hence, in this case, we can return the array and our time complexity tends to be big O of n. So to find whether the given input array is sorted or not, we will be using a Boolean variable is sorted. So we will discuss about that in code implementation. So hope you understood the problem. Let us now dive into the coding implementation of our bubble sort algorithm. All right. So we got our bubble sort function defined, which takes in an array. So what I'm going to do is I'll be having a variable called is sorted, which is initially set to false. So now I'm going to continue traversing the array until my is sorted is false. So I'll be saying while is sorted is false, I'll be setting my is sorted variable to true. Then after setting it as true, what I'm going to do is I'm going to traverse the array. So for I in range, len of array. So I'll be traversing until the last before element because I'll be accessing the current element and the next element. So if array of I, which is the current element, is greater than array of I plus 1, which is the next element, then in this case, I have to perform a swap. So I'll be saying swap I, I plus 1, array. So I'll write the swap function above. So def swap of, which takes in two indexes I, j, array. So now inside this swap function, I'll be swapping the elements at the indexes I and j. So I'll be saying array of I comma array of j is equal to array of j comma array of I. So now after swapping, I will set my isSorted variable to false. So I am doing this step because whenever I swap two adjacent numbers, it means that they have performed a swap and there may be a chance that the array becomes unsorted. So I'll be setting my isSorted to false. So then after the traversal is over, then the given input array is sorted and then we have to return the sorted input array. So as discussed earlier in the explanation part, when the array is traversed once, it means that the largest element present at the array is now positioned at the last index of the given input array. So I'll be having a variable called count and I'll be saying minus count in this for loop, and each time when the array is traversed, I'll be incrementing the count. I'm doing this because each and every time after the traversal is completed, the largest element in the unsorted list is positioned in the last index of the unsorted list. So next time while we traverse, we do not want to look at the indexes of the elements which are already positioned correctly in the given input array. So I'll be having the variable count to traverse only the part of the array which remains unsorted. That is, we are ignoring the sorted part of the given input array using this count variable. So hope you understood the problem. So this algorithm has a time complexity of big O of n in its best case and big O of n square in average and worst case. And the space complexity of our solution tends to be big O of 1. Let us now test our solution. So I'll be saying our array which has 8, 2, 4, 9, 5, and 1. So I'll be saying print bubble sort of array. So this should give me the sorted array. So I'm getting a sorted array here 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, and 9. So let us test another test case in which the array is already sorted. So in this case, we got the same array as our answer. So now we can see that the time complexity of our algorithm is the big O of n in its best case. So this is because when we give the input array as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is already sorted, our sorted variable will first hold the Boolean value false, then our sorted will now become true. Then this for loop will traverse the array until the last before element, and at each case, we will never get into this if condition. So our sorted will remain true and it will never become false. Hence, we'll be traversing the array only once and we'll be returning the array. Therefore, in our case, whenever the input array is sorted, our time complexity tends to be big O of n. Hope you understood the problem. Do subscribe and check out our channel for more videos. Thank you so much.